That's when it dawned on me. I thought, how did I get myself to Milan, Italy, working this really large event? Other people should be doing this too.
Welcome to the Playbook. I'm David Meltzer, and I have a treat for you. I have Alicia Marinelli here. She is the founder and president of Living Sport. And one thing that you have in common with me is we are living sport.
We are living sport, David.
It's so amazing with the knowledge of who and what that we have and the desire to expand the future of sport. And the best way to do that is through having a mentorship program, by providing real life opportunity experience to not only see how everything actually is outside of a classroom, but to build the relationships with the people that are making the decisions, that are prioritizing sport and business, and seeing what actual skills you need, what knowledge of who and what, and of course, how does the desire, the love for sport align with the profession of sport as well. And you've created, I thought I was proud over the last 35 years of having a sports internship program and working and speaking at so many universities and graduate schools and building what used to be a unique experience of having even a sports management program at colleges, but now being able to provide the practical understanding and awareness of what it's like to live sport. Give me a little bit of background, Alicia, of what your program actually does.
I'm a sports girl, Dave. I'm through and through
So
a
I love
sports
you.
gal. Yes, you saw my golf swing yesterday. We were playing some golf.
In
at
high
Top
heels, she's better than everyone else at Top Golf, by the way.
But my program is giving students that are interested in working in the sport industry, maybe the front office, or forming their own path in the sport industry, giving them a chance to go on site and work actual events that they never thought that they would get access to. Myself personally, I was one of those sport management students, both undergrad and grad school. And I just didn't have the opportunities presented by those universities to travel to London and work a triathlon, or come to Vegas and work the Super Bowl. Those are opportunities I would have loved as a student. And when I got into the sport industry myself, I worked for the NBA, the NHL, a couple minor league baseball teams, started in the sport of cycling, which had me traveling internationally, and that's when it dawned on me. I thought, how did I get myself to Milan, Italy, working this really large event? Other people should be doing this too. And then I thought of myself in school, and this program just naturally came together as a passion project, as somebody who loves sports, loves business, and loves helping people.
And how do you find the kids?
We talk to schools, universities, and job boards, and we just go out there every angle where students look for sports jobs. We try to put ourselves there.
And now that you've done this before, what are some of the value that you see when the students get back from the experience? That
Yes.
you were hoping for, that there was something like this when you were in school, but what actual value are you providing?
The number one thing that I see every student at different levels take from this program is confidence.
Oh, not expected. That's awesome.
Yes, they are traveling by themselves for the first time without their parents a lot of times. Maybe some of these kids never were on a plane before. They'd never been to a business conference or invested in themselves to go to a business conference where they had to act professional, they had to talk professionally, they had to get outside of their comfort zone and speak to people they didn't know. They had to dress professionally. We teach them how to iron as well on these programs because you have to look the part too. So by the end of 10 days, the confidence that you see that these kids know now that they could do anything they put their mind to is something that I didn't necessarily know was going to come out of our really amazing program, but it does every time.
As you know, I was blessed to work with Leigh Steinberg, and so many people tell me, oh my gosh, Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire is my favorite sports film. And the lesson that I learned from working with Leigh Steinberg is reflective in the movie Jerry Maguire, which was based about Leigh Steinberg, which is sports is just a backdrop. Jerry Maguire was a love story. And it's one of the greatest love stories, and it's so well written by Cameron Crowe that many of the famous lines are still utilized today, including "Show me the money." But it's not a sports story. It's not Rudy, which is a sports film, by the way, or Blindside, definitely a sports film. But what I've learned about the business of sports compared to what we learn in school, and this is true about law school, most law students will tell you, wow, I don't know how to be a lawyer, but I went to law school. you go to sports management programs, sports business programs, there's many different types of sports programs. You really don't know the business side of what actually goes along. What are some of the biggest surprises when you get to experience going to these things, when they are participating in the backdrop of sports? What are some of the comments that you've had from the students about, wow, I never knew blank?
To be honest, working really large events around the world, they get to see the processes behind them.
The sausage being made.
Yes, there's trainings they have to attend prior to being on site. Sometimes those trainings you get notified the day before. But that is like that in all areas of business. And you have to be ready. You have to be on your toes. And I think that is one thing you can't get out of a textbook. You can't get the actual running of a live event, because that's what sports is. Anything could happen at any time. You have to be ready for it. So even on the back end, like I gave the comments about trainings and emails and information prior, that could be last minute. Students aren't expecting that stuff, but they're experiencing it, they get it, and then execution, again, anything could happen. I have a ton of stories about Super Bowl and the questions were asked on site by the VIPs that walk in, and the expectations are high there. So it is really just a great learning experience to dive in. You can't learn that from a textbook.
Not at all. And I think one of the other perspective building things behind the confidence and the reality of working or having activity you get paid for in sports is what I call the glamorized stuck. At the highest level, when I was running Leigh Steinberg, people would be like, oh my gosh, that was my dream job. I've seen athletes who, it's discounted how much activity that you get paid for you don't like to do, even at the highest level. If you're the running back for the Los Angeles Chargers, or you're the CEO of Leigh Steinberg, or you run a network, or I remember several anchors at ESPN, which is another dream job. Mm-hmm. The hardest part is this glamorized stuck. I think also that glamorized stuck becomes apparent when you start working these events and you realize that it's, not all rainbows and sunshine working in sports. You're not sitting on the sideline talking to the players and watching the games. A lot of times you're not connected to the event at all, of any witnessing or participation at all. You're literally picking up trash and throwing it away.
For instance, last year, I'm a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. We're on a little bit of a slip right now, but last year they made the Super Bowl. I told the kids, we will not watch the game because we are working, but literally saw probably about 20 seconds of that game. And at that time they were winning. So I don't know what happened. That's the last time I saw, but you are absolutely right. A lot of people love sport and they would love to make it their profession. I see going through my program as a way for people to gain experience, build connections, and see the world. If you go on our program, you will do all three of those plus more, and you will actually see if the sport industry is what you thought it was. Because it's okay when you're growing, and even now, it's okay to do things and realize maybe it's not for you, but our program will still give you one heck of an experience, a life experience and a professional experience that it makes it totally worth it. Even if you do see, hey, these long hours, hey, these little tasks that all go along with events, it's not really for me. I kind of want a 9-to-5 job. I kind of want to be in an office or whatever it may be. I think that's still a win, and that's a part of the process of learning and growing. But sports is an industry that it's day and night. You're working. I worked in minor league baseball, which was one of the best things ever for me as a young professional, because you did everything. We were in the office from 8:30 to 5:30. The gates would open. You'd have 72 games per season. And then you'd also on the weekends do parades and be involved in community relations. But at the game, maybe it went into extra innings. Like we're playing an 11-inning game into the night. And sometimes there's fireworks at the end as well. So you are there constantly. You have to love what you do. And I have, and I wanted to share that love and passion I have for the sport industry and put young professionals in positions they never thought they would. And a key part of this is our students are coming from all over the country and even the world. So they don't know anybody. So they are networking and building a community just like you do, David, at the first stage of them becoming the professional they want to be.
It's one thing to love sports. It's another thing to live sports. If we want to teach our children to live sports, there's only one place I know, and nobody does it better than Alicia Marinelli. Go ahead, support her as a parent, as a student, and as a sponsor. Reach out, follow her. let's help the kids not only love sports, but live it as well. Thank you so much, Alicia. I appreciate you being here. This is David Meltzer with The Playbook.